Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to the original Squid Game. We are That Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jason, and the crew is here. And thanks to Ryan last week on the email, thatwrestlepod@gmail.com. We're going to go through and see how everybody's week was. And we're going to start with Joe. How was your week, Joe?
It started off kind of stressful, but it ended beautifully. Okay. You guys have, like, behind the scenes, no one really knows, but I ordered basically a PlayStation about 3 weeks ago. Never got it.
No. You ordered
the original?
PS5. Yeah, I'm like, you
PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5.
It's a PS5.
PS5. Right, I ordered a PS5 like 3 weeks ago.
There you go.
And had to pay the 3-day express shipping.
Okay.
And the FedEx around here suck, in this parts unknowns, sucks so bad that they're terrible completely. And phone call after phone call. It's on the truck. It's not on the truck. Like, basically a bunch of, like, a giant headache for 3 weeks. Okay. So I decided I'm going to send a chat to the people at Sony PlayStation. It was my last hope. I never thought anything would happen out of it. They sent me an email 7 hours later that said, "Sorry to keep you waiting." And then they sent me a new PS5.
Nice.
Free of, and it's being sent UPS. So long story short, the people at PlayStation, Kevin, I know you're an Xbox guy, but after this story, you really have to switch over to Sony. This is
to keep
I never in a million years would have thought a big corporation like Sony PlayStation would take the time to take little old insignificant me in parts unknown and decide to send me a replacement PS5. But the best part about it was, because I think the idiot FedEx driver stole it.
Allegedly stolen.
I said I think.
Allegedly.
So that's allegedly whatever. They decided, like, not only are we sending you a replacement, we are going to brick the one that we sent you. So
explain what that means.
Explain what means is they send a code to that PS5 that was sent to me, and they make it obsolete. No matter what, It will not work. So if allegedly, even though I think it was happening, if allegedly it was stolen from me through the delivery service, it's worthless now. So good. I gotta say, play PS5. I haven't even played the thing yet, but the people at Sony PlayStation, they are my new homage. Like, Jason loves homage.
Okay, yeah.
I am going to support. I've always been a PlayStation guy, but I am going to support them until the day I die. Thank you,
Very
PlayStation.
Cool.
It's nice to see they took your hot tag when you sent them.
Oh no, that was my wife. Man,
your wife was on fire on Twitter.
Yes, she was.
That was a shoot.
So the big thing that happened to me this week was I was on the 5 freeway, which is a very big freeway, probably 6 lanes in each direction. And I got a flat tire on the side of the 5 freeway.
Uh-oh.
I also don't know how to change a tire.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, I don't. Do you actually think I know how to do anything where I get dirty? Come on.
But anyone can change a tire.
Nope. So I called roadside assistance, and where I was sitting on the 5, there's like a service road underneath it. So about 10 minutes in, after I'm waiting for roadside to come get me, I realized that my location was tagged on the service road under the freeway. So if I called and I said, "Hey, I'm on the 5, I'm not on Wilson Road or whatever," and then the guy's like, "Okay, I'll be there in like 15 minutes." I'm like, "All right." So I'm sitting on the side of the freeway, and all of a sudden my phone rings. Says, "Hey, this is Joe from Joe's Trucking. Your insurance company just canceled the service appointment, so we're not going to take your car." I'm like, "Wait a minute. No, wait." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. Your guy's pulling in right now." So, like, literally, as he's saying, my insurance canceled, the tow truck came. I'm like, "What am I? Can I just pay this guy? Like,
right?
Whatever." So He's like, yeah, you can pay him and then, submit it to your insurance. But yeah, that was a shitty day on my Tuesday. Brian, you got anything Well, Joe's was uplifting, good customer service.
Yeah.
But the tow truck driver at Joe's Trucking or whatever the trucking company was, he was awesome and he was so nice. And so what do you got, Brian? Anything?
Joe's was down and up, and mine kind of represents that, in that I was in charge of a race for my
Oh, you're really talking about this?
Yes.
I didn't think you were. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
No.
Brian, can I add in on it too when you're done? Because I was
already had your time, mister.
Yeah.
But I was part of this.
Where's that mute button? No, Joe and his lady joined me as we had a charity fun run for my work on Sunday, but Saturday was the prep day where I had to mark signs on every spot of the 5K and 10K course. The 10K I had never done, and I realized about halfway into it, I didn't have enough yard sign stakes to do every sign. I was like, oh, so I had to drive to my coworkers. I had to get more stakes. I had to go back. Long story short, at like 7:30 at night when it's pitch black in the state park where you can't see, I'm basically like jogging a mile with my flashlight of my phone. Ended up doing my steps. I ended up doing 12 miles of walking.
Wow.
I was feeling it. I was really feeling it.
Well, yeah, because a 10K is 6 miles, right?
Yeah, 10K 6, 5K 3.
Back to starting. So,
exactly, yeah. So it all added up, and then the rains came, and so Sunday, Joe and his lady and about 150 or so of our supporters braved the rain. My shoes, this was Sunday morning, my shoes on Monday night were still wet and soaked. So it all ended up okay, despite my best efforts, though, of putting all the signs up. Some of the runners got lost.
Really? Did that really happen?
Go ahead, Joe.
All right, I'm just gonna. So, Jason, Kevin, how long is a 5K? Because that's what I signed up for.
3.3 miles.
All right, so here's my
5.5
and a half.
5.5 miles.
A 5K is a 5.5 in
no.
And
well, the thing is, I did it 47 minutes flat, so I actually
your average pace is pretty nice.
I had a good time. I was feeling good about it, but what happened was it was not Brian's fault. So anyone out there, I'm 100% behind Brian on this. I told him on Sunday too.
Can I guess? Can I interrupt really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you just
was there like an arrow on like a turn? Is somebody like played a joke? This
is what happened, because like I said, I was on a good pace and I was in the front of the pack. They were setting up the water station in the fork in the road. We were supposed to turn right, but we went straight. So when they were setting up the water station, they blocked the arrow that told us to turn right. So my group ended up doing an extra 2 miles, 2.5 miles, basically. But we all felt good about it. And even afterwards, I mean,
it was for charity. So that's all about it.
It was for charity. And I ended up doing 5.5 miles, which my wife beat me per time, but not for distance. So she's like, oh my God, did that idiot get lost?
Yeah.
Nope. Just an extra 2.5.
No, just like your PS5, it got lost. It's okay.
Yeah. Do you win stuff like socks or like a bumper sticker, like a T-shirt? I completed 5.5 5K or what were the prizes?
I finished third, even though my time was 47 minutes for a 5K.
Yeah, Joe and his wife finished third in their age group.
So you're the second loser. That's okay.
And they got they call them gaiters, Gaiter. That's one of those. Yeah. It's a mask, it's a bandana, it's a scarf, like it's a reversible piece of cloth that you can kind of have fun with however you want. So congrats to Joe.
So
it was a great time, Brian. You did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Kevin, it looks like you went to the beach. You were very red.
Yeah.
Are you sunburned?
So we went. Brian said, what did you say? You said you were out of it after your 12 or your 10K or something like that. I was out of it because we went camping this past weekend at Laura's parent seasonal campsite, and it was like kids day, right? So all the kids dressed up, it was trick-or-treating and whatnot, but all the adults at like every other campsite there had Jello shots. So and it was like 85 degrees outside all day. So it was like super warm, a lot of Jello shots, a lot of beers. I'll keep my story short as can be, but it was a good time. It was a good time.
So Kevin, you also have a birthday this weekend. And because of that, we have something for you. Hey, monkeys in the truck, roll that video.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Daddy.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey, Bret, what do you love about Daddy?
To poop.
What does he do with you? Play games?
He feeds my cat.
Yes, that's very special. Do you know how old he's turning?
40.
Is that old? How old are you?
5.5. He hoody hoot.
Did he call you a hoe?
I'm 60.
Oh, okay.
No,
Let's tell him one more time. Say, we love you.
We love you.
Have a great birthday.
Ah,
Why are
funny.
you doing?
Bye, Daddy.
That's awesome. That's
So-
great. I'm a hoe.
So he called you a hoe. You turned 40 this weekend.
I do.
And we have a couple others throughout the show that people reached out, wanted to say happy birthday to. They couldn't be here tonight on the Zoom. And so we'll get into those a little later.
Awesome.
But first, let's get into what we're wearing.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
All right, it's the weekly check-in. What are you wearing? You being us. I'll go first. I've got the Mean Gene Burgers t-shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. Go to the Mean Gene page. This is a real place somewhere, but I didn't do no research. So I just thought it looked awesome. Mean Gene's Burgers is what I'm wearing this week. Kevin, what do you got?
I didn't do any research either, so I don't know if this is a repeat, but I'm wearing my white Shinsuke Nakamura strong style shirt.
Ah, okay. All right, Kevin or Joe, what do you got?
Mine is a repeat, but it's timely
down, man.
because of Wednesday night's AEW. I'm wearing the Hangman Page has been drinking shirt, and yes,
okay.
I have.
You're drinking now?
What are you drinking?
No, I've already had a couple beers in me, but I'm done for the night. But I did pre-drink before the show because I've been celebrating how awesome Sony PlayStation is.
And then Brian, let's wrap it up here. What do you got this week?
Usually I have a backstory. No backstory other than this is probably the most comfortable wrestling shirt I own. The Mr. Perfect, the newspaper style print.
Yeah.
I love it. This one makes my regular rotation every week.
We know we've seen it about 10 times in 26 shows.
And it's absolutely perfect.
Does it make you want to fight Brock Lesnar up in the sky?
That's right. That's right.
So the
He's
draft
from
was
hell.
this weekend. And Joe, you are going to tell us who went where. So let's get into that. I did your work for you. I sent you the screenshot, so hopefully you got those ready to go.
I already had it, but you said that I just need to say who went where. I don't need to do any grading or anything. That's for later.
No, that's later.
Let's start with the Raw side. 36 men went to Raw, 14 women. Here we go. Big E, Randy Orton, Riddle, Edge, Keith Bearcat Lee, Rey Mysterio,
He's fighting Illini this week.
Yeah. Because where were they at this weekend? Sorry, Keith Cardinal Lee, because they were in Louisville.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
Ray and Dominic Mysterio, Austin Theory, great pick. Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, AJ Styles, Omos, Kevin Owens, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, Gable Stevenson, not Stevenson.
Jimmy
Saxton.
Stevenson.
The 24/7 crew. I'm not going to name them all. Morrison. Sorry, Jason. T-Bar, not Mace.
I know.
Apollo Crews. Commander Aziz, Ziggler, Rude, Jason Riker, Veer, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and The Miz. While the women were Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Nia Jax, Selena Vega, Doudrop, Dana Brooke, Liv Morgan, Mia Yim, Tamina, and Tegan Knox. That is a Raw side. Let's talk about Raw first. What do we think of those picks?
I thought it was great. Obviously Monday is the flagship show, regardless of, what's going on right now. I cannot believe Mace and T-Bar got split up, and
don't make me spit out my beer.
Veer and Shanky got split up too.
They hate you.
Yes, yeah.
They were the only tag team. They were the only two tag teams split up, and it was Retribution.
They hate tag team wrestling.
But they were the only two tag teams split up. Kevin, what do you think of the Raw draft?
I before the draft, Raw was definitely the I would say the step down versus SmackDown, right? I think the last 3-4 episodes of Raw were very strong. Now with the new lineup and in the new roster, I feel that it's going to continue. I think it's great. There's a lot of name power on the women's side and the men's side. And I think there's going to be incredible matches, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah. Brian, what about you for the Raw side?
Yeah, really happy with Raw. Looking at the graphic, I guess Raw does have to have more people because it's an hour longer show. But I think they have boosted their main event scene so well. You've got Big E, Lashley, Orton, Seth Rollins, Edge, maybe Keith Lee, Rey Mysterio. There's a lot of potential players in there that I think can bring a lot of freshness to the main event scene. And by proxy, the co-main events and stuff like that for the mid card. Really, really happy and optimistic on where Raw is headed with that lineup change.
So don't forget about potential main eventers too, like Damian Priest in there, because he's been looking like a star lately. I think Raw did a great job with updating their roster. And if you're going to have extra guys and you got that extra hour, it makes sense that the 24/7 crew is on Raw and not SmackDown. That would take away the limited time they have. So let's look at SmackDown's roster. 29 men, 10 women. Go with the men first. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Kofi and Xavier Woods, New Day. Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, stupid, Isaiah Scott, Top Dollar, Ashante Adonis, also known as Hit Row.
I was waiting for someone to do it. I was waiting for your wife to just fist across the screen.
Nah, she's in
Did the girl get picked too?
Yes.
Okay.
B-Fab did get picked, so all of Hit Row. Okay. Jeff Hardy, the Usos. My favorite one staying, Nakamura and Boogs needed to stay on SmackDown. Couldn't have been happier about that. Sheamus comes over to Raw. The Viking Raiders come over to Raw. Ricochet comes over to Raw. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza come over to Raw. Cesaro stays. Jason's really happy about this one. Ridge Holland.
Love Ridge Holland. Up to
SmackDown. Sami Zayn. Drew Gulak out of the 24/7 scene. Fingers crossed something can happen with him. Sorry, Jason. Mace comes over without T-Bar. But Mustafa Ali and the Undertaker of Crown Jewel, Mansoor, comes to SmackDown. And Jinder Mahal and Shanky. Now the women. I'll say it. Why not? The Queen, Charlotte Flair, is now on SmackDown, along with B-Fab, who I already said. Naomi. Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Zana Lee, Aaliyah, Toni Storm, Shotzi Blackheart, and they broke up another tag team. I forgot about this. Natalya, because Tamina is on Raw. Let's start with Jason. Go ahead. What do you think of SmackDown?
I am glad that the Viking Raiders got on to SmackDown. I'm a big fan of those guys, and I think given a little more opportunity, and later on in the 5 count, I have a good Viking Raiders match, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to see and then talk about with you guys. But overall, SmackDown Raw's the flagship, but SmackDown is the better show right now. So, I like Ridge Holland. I said that last week. I'm pretty pumped about that. Overall, SmackDown, I think SmackDown wins.
Really? Okay. Brian, what about you?
I disagree. I'm really thinking the main event scene is hurting and compared to Raw, where I listed Kevin Owens and Big E and all these Lashley. I'm not seeing a lot of credible challengers for Roman. Now, the one wild card is Brock Lesnar. Of course, he is the wild card. He can go on both shows. So, okay, maybe that solves that a little bit. I do think they have good depth in the women's division. They're clearly having a nice resurgence with Shayna Baszler. Charlotte is Charlotte. You've got Sasha there and some young talent that I think with a little more exposure like Toni Storm and Shotzi could be some pretty good players. So women's division, I feel a little bit more confident about rather than the men's, which I think the mid card's okay. Ricochet, Cesaro, Sheamus, but that main event, when I'm looking at Roman being the head of the table, I'm like, who's going to rise up and face him? And I'm not seeing a whole lot of names.
Kevin.
Yeah, I kind of to piggyback off Brian, I think maybe SmackDown will start elevating some of that mid-card talent to go against Roman, because we finally saw that, Cesaro main event push didn't go anywhere, but we saw it and we were all behind it. So maybe Ricochet will finally, get up to that main event match status. I do think that SmackDown was less on paper, right? But the one thing I am most bummed about is Big E, Xavier, and Kofi. Man, I wish they could have all been on the same show, but I understand it. Now, Big E can be, main event champ, not have them behind them, but they'll still cross paths sometimes, all that camaraderie.
You mean like they've done for the last year?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yes. But I think, just overall men's little lacking versus Raw, but I think USA is the big winner because I'm sure they bitched and complained that they needed more star power.
But I don't understand that because they got the Peacock network and they get all the pay-per-views, so they don't have anything to complain about. But I will say my opinion. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Brian,
Joe. I did leave off. I must acknowledge I didn't acknowledge that Drew McIntyre did make it over. So that's okay. When I talk about main event guys, all right, that's an easy one you slot in. I still think it's a little lacking after that.
When you have Roman Reigns and the Queen, you win every time.
All right, well, here we go. My opinion is I think Raw won the draft, but I don't think SmackDown's as bad as Brian you're making it sound like, because this will be the show that elevates those guys who are floundering on Raw. Like you're talking, and I'm going to mention a SmackDown guy. You're saying that only Drew McIntyre, but Sheamus can definitely face off against Roman and make it credible. But we can see finally Nakamura go against Roman. Those could be good matches. We could see Ricochet, but why are we forgetting about Jey Uso finally stepping away from the table? And
not happening.
No, I hope it happens. Nah. But then you got plenty of other.
Unless Dwayne's coming back, he's not leaving the meal ticket. He's not leaving the head of the table.
My issue with SmackDown is the women's division is worse. It's worse. It's only 10 women on SmackDown, and it's Charlotte, Sasha, and that's it. Like Shayna could have a little bit of a run as an opponent, but they pretty much made it pretty simple that Friday night SmackDown is going to be the Queen's show, and we're going to have to deal with that for the next year. So I think that Raw's women's division is finally being put together, but SmackDown's took a big step backwards.
Is it because Tamina's on Raw for you, Joe? Is that why?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's it. No one's meaner than Tamina.
Hater.
No, how can you argue with the? Do I need to read the SmackDown women's roster again?
No,
you're gonna tell me that they're good.
What's more important is, did any of us get any right, Joe? Kevin.
So I made this nice cheat sheet. Look at all that nice verbiage on there. I'm going to roll through everybody's
an Excel
worst 5 predictions to the best. And then we might have a little controversy, but we'll get to that later. Jason, 4th place. Your 5th pick, or your 5 count. We're going 5 through 1. You wanted RK Bro. Smackdown didn't happen. The way to Raw didn't happen. Dominic Mysterio
Partial.
separating from his dad. Okay. So I took it as just Dom, but they came together. To Raw, somewhat happened, but I still put it as a no. Based on your long story behind it. Sami Zayn to Raw, no. And Montez Ford to Raw, no. You did a great job.
0 for 5.
Because instead of getting it, you got it perfect. It was just the bad one.
There's a couple of threads in there where you mentioned the way and Austin Theory. So you had some ideas that were at least in the ballpark.
I wasn't too far behind you.
Okay.
Third place. My 5th pick, Street Profits to Raw. That did happen. Then AJ and Omos to SmackDown did not. Frankie Monet, 3rd to Raw, didn't happen. LA Knight to SmackDown didn't happen. And then Edge, I wanted to Raw, and it did.
Yes,
so
it did.
I only had 2 picks. This is where it gets a little fun. And Jay, you're going to be the tiebreaker here. We'll say Joe first. So he said Sami Zayn to Raw. Nope. Miz to SmackDown. Nope. Ricochet to SmackDown. By the way, did you guys predict that, or did you guys really want that to happen?
Both.
Ricochet.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I predicted it and wanted it.
No, that's
he
great.
needed to be off Raw.
No, and then Ricochet to SmackDown. You predicted correct. Kevin Owens to Raw. Great prediction. It did happen. He got drafted, and then Drew number 1. Joe with 3. Brian. LA Knight to Raw. You had smart thinking LA Knight. He got shafted, I think. Liv Morgan to Raw. Did not get drafted.
She's on Raw.
No, hold up. Number 3, Drew McIntyre to SmackDown did happen. Ricochet to SmackDown did happen. Kevin Owens to Raw did happen. So you and Joe each had 3.
No.
Listen.
Okay.
No, listen. She was a free agent signing. She was not part of the official draft picks.
Got it.
I'd give it to Brian.
So we're going to go. It's a 2-way tie, or Brian will win with 3.5, and we're going to the judge, the pod general, to see the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I don't really care that much.
We'll say.
No, you don't
Brian
have to go
wins
to the judge because Brian won.
Enemy.
Joe's conceding victory.
Screw you, Jason. At least I got one right.
My Liv Morgan that you guys decided.
That's
Terry Runnels. That's China. That's whoever you were saying. She pulled through for me. She got me the win.
She got.
I can't believe you didn't pick Tamina.
You know what's dumb though about this whole thing? The rosters don't take form until after Crown Jewel. Come on,
after Crown Royal Jewel.
I almost said Crown Royal.
I know. I got it.
Especially when SmackDown season premiere is tonight.
There's no such thing as a season premiere.
But that's supposed to be the
How
kickoff
funny
of the
for them
new
to say
rosters.
that, right?
That's what that is, right?
No, it's just going to be the King of the Wing and the
King of the Wing.
I like it.
King of the Wing.
Crown Royal.
What is
Crown Royal.
Beav,
King of the Wing.
new sauce. King of the Wing.
So Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about that real quick. For me, I laughed my ass off at Big D, Big Z, Big E, and Big Bob. Nobody calls you that. Very funny segment, but very cool that they got Ziggler in there with the 2 of his guys that he brought up. Kevin, anything from Raw that you thought was fun?
That whole segment was pretty good. It got Bobby Roode, and
on TV,
introduced. I thought Becky Lynch coming out at the beginning was fun. Usually, she's been kind of that sneaky heel. I thought it was going to be like, I want to be the first one to announce, get the crowd all hype and be like, I'm going back to the blue brand or something.
That would have been good.
I was waiting for that, but it didn't happen. It was a very fast 3 hours. I really enjoyed the draft pick layout, the way it went. It was fun. It seemed like a big show. The crowd was hot for it. I thought Bianca versus Charlotte was pretty dang good.
Real quick. You said the Big Show. Did you know he was in the Thong Song video?
I've seen that clip. Yeah,
he is in the video. He's like muscle guy.
Yeah.
I saw that this week, and I'm like, what the fuck? All right, go back to your raw. Your raw
no,
takes.
there's one thing I really didn't like though. what was it? Doudrop coming out to save Dana Brooke, and then Shayna basically just pushed Doudrop, and now Shayna's going back to SmackDown.
Well, that's
so
why
it
they
kind of
got
led
2
to
weeks.
nothing.
They got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They got 2 weeks to let this stuff
Tie in some feuds. Yeah.
Yeah, make some matches or feuds. Yeah. So
I was really hoping for Doudrop to kind of like turn
I was
on
hoping
Dana and kind of being like now bad.
badass. Yeah, that would have
Like,
been a good one. That would have been good.
We'll see.
Joe, you got anything?
I really enjoyed the fact I did like that everyone had seemed to get a new nickname. I did go on Twitter on Monday night saying like Kevin Owens even went, wait, the dynamic Kevin Owens? What? The dynamic one? I've never been called that in my entire life.
It was they called him Relentless because that's what's on his t-shirt.
Relentless, whatever. It was like everyone had a new nickname, and I was just like, why is everyone? And the worst one was Seth Rollins. He's had like 12 nicknames, and now it's what? The Grandmaster of Drip, the visionary of Drip, and it's like John Morrison's in the back crying. It's like, I thought I was the Drip one.
And then he basically rapped Eminem.
Yeah, he did. It was so stupid. But I love that Seth Rollins is back on Raw. He needs to be a top heel, and he can't do it with Roman on SmackDown. So I enjoyed Raw from top to bottom, shockingly.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
I know, right?
Wow.
3 in a row, and it's like we got a winning streak here.
We got a turn.
It's an autumn miracle.
It has happened before.
Brian, anything before we move on to? I have one. Oh, go ahead. I have one thing too, but we'll see if you caught
a quick shout out. Great debut for Austin Theory. Hey.
Yeah,
I love that we actually had an NXT call up that went really well on the first night.
for now, anyway.
For now,
and according to the announcers, it's his first time ever on Raw.
I did make a point of that they're like, they forgot he was in the tag team title match of WrestleMania the year before.
Right.
We all wanted to forget that, nevertheless. But yeah, I love the fanboy of can I take a selfie with Jeff Hardy and everybody kind of going, what the fuck, dude? And the fact that he knocks him out and actually does take the selfie and posts it.
Yep.
Great start. I think that kid has a ton of potential. Love the stuff that he did in NXT with Gargano and the whole crew. So yeah, hope it keeps on rolling.
We did get another Goldberg death remark.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
He's going to kill Bobby Lashley for, what he did to his kids.
In Saudi. So it may, you never know what can happen there.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So,
Jay, do we want to? I think we got another guest that wants to give
okay.
I got another guest on the line.
Is it Yerple the Clown?
It's for Kevin's birthday.
Yeah,
40 this weekend. If you're just joining the show,
that's right. This is an old friend of all of us.
Hey,
please welcome the Beav.
Happy birthday, buddy. Hey, man, hope we have a really good one. Sorry we never got our trip together in the last year or so. It's been obvious reasons why. But there is a new Mario Party coming out at the end of the month we can play online. So just throwing that out there. Anyways, hope you have a good birthday. Hopefully we'll see you next spring. And LBD forever. Go green.
Hey, the Beav, everybody.
You guys know what? You guys know what LBD is?
No.
Is that a big dick joke?
So every year for the last, I would say 15 years, I've written my buddy Jay, he goes by Beav, we all know him, a poem for his birthday. A poem. I'm a poetic guy, and it's always based on Lori Beth Denberg. Do you know who that is?
No.
She was
she was on all that, wasn't she? Okay, I did know.
Wow.
And shout out to Jay because he just got engaged this past weekend.
Congratulations, Beav.
Wow.
He got engaged.
Oh, by the way, we have another guest. It's Lori Beth Denberg on the line.
And I did get.
She's not doing anything right now.
No, I did get him the last time I got him a cameo, and it was $5, and she read part of.
Oh my God,
I wrote.
That's amazing.
So we got a couple more later on in the show, Kevin. So, but for us doing this for your birthday, I think we all better get fucking poems or something for our birthdays moving forward. We're dedicating a whole show to you turning 40. So they did announce that the King of the Ring and the Queen Crown tourney are coming. Joe, didn't you say this in a prediction? You wanted a Queen of the Ring type tournament? Oh, it was Brian.
No, it was Brian. It was his things he wanted to see in the new year.
Yeah. So did that during a practice show. And then I think like 12 episodes in, we kind of went back just to see if anything was close to happening. But we are getting it. And it starts tonight on SmackDown. The King of the Ring. The only match that has been announced, and it was just announced right before we started recording, was Sami Zayn and Rey Mysterio is announced for SmackDown. The tournament happens on Raw and SmackDown over the next couple of weeks, and the champions, the King and Queen, are crowned on October 21st at Allah in 4, aka Crown Royal.
Crown Jewel.
Crown Royal.
From now on, yes.
Yeah, Allah in / Crown Royal.
Crown Royal, yes.
I know this wasn't on the list for the rundown of the show, but any thoughts on maybe early predictions on who you think would win the men and the women's tournament? Anybody? I've got two.
We have to acknowledge Xavier Woods.
Yes.
Do we though?
Yes, because there's never been a guy who's had such devotion to this concept of King of the Ring. He's literally for years said, it's my favorite thing. It's all I want out of wrestling. I need to be in it. And it's so silly because it's like no one grows up going, I want to be King of the Ring. So I hope he's in the tournament. I hope he gets to the finals. I hope he loses in the finals and then like goes to be like the Mad King or something like that.
That would be
like,
cool.
Yeah.
No,
like,
I
came
want
this
to
close.
I want to see him win. I want to see him win. I want to see. I want to see it happen.
Funny. It's such a weird thing that he's like so devoted to the King of the Ring tournament. It's so amazing. Like people are like, I want to go to WrestleMania. I want to win the Royal Rumble. He's a King of the Ring. So I'm keeping my eye on him.
So do you think Woods is going to win?
I
Kevin?
don't.
No.
Like, go ahead. Yeah.
Kevin?
I would love to see him win. One like
that wasn't the question. Do you think he's going to win?
Because he's been putting all the hype behind it. He's trying to like will it into existence.
I think I'll give my predictions. I think Woods will win for the men, and I think Shayna Baszler will win for the women.
Okay. Joe, do you have any predictions?
I think unfortunately it has to be Charlotte to win for the women because she's already called the queen, and she would. This tournament was made for her and her ego, so she definitely has to win it. And for the men, I'd love to see Woods. I just don't see it happening. I think it's gonna be double heel.
Jay Alley's gonna win. Is that your pick, Kevin?
From the 27 Yankees.
Nope. This beer right here is courtesy of Joe Taranto.
Oh,
because he left it in the cooler.
Who's that guy? I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
and whatever. No one's gonna do anything anyway. I have Shayna Baszler as the female winner, and it has to be a heel. Like a good guy can never win. Apollo,
sure,
with his Nigerian royalty gimmick, it makes total sense that he would be the one to be the new King of the Ring. My dog is like losing her mind.
But I could also see Jinder Mahal winning it too.
You know what? Jinder was my second guess or my second choice. So
Jinder versus Shanky in the finals.
Talk about the mega powers colliding. Wow.
Yeah, really.
You know why Harley's getting all excited? Because Harley Race was King of the Ring back in the day. He was a King Harley. So of course Harley's getting excited.
She just want belly rubs.
Harley Race did not even make Fox's top 10 countdown.
Crazy.
I watched it. I watched it after the Lions game.
Should
have been number one.
Number one should have been Bret Hart.
The countdown was it was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it was good. It was the countdown was good. I just don't understand how Harley Race was not even on it. So next up is NXT. Brian, a few weeks ago, you said that they made it known that they were going to be a little more edgier. We now know that Dexter and Indy used 2 rolls of condoms on their honeymoon, and that Dexter is 9.5.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, but they didn't say what 9.5 was. But
right, good.
Yeah,
good for Dexter.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, good for Indy too. I mean, 9.5. I mean, that's
like 8 more than I have. So
yeah,
whatever.
she recovered well from that
But he
beat down
did.
on her honeymoon.
But he didn't.
to defeat Mei Ying or whatever her name is. Yeah, he took the week off. Yeah, good stuff.
Anything else from NXT, Brian? I know you're not as big on it as I am, but
yeah, and it kind of lost me a little bit this week, but I was encouraged that in a couple weeks is the return of Halloween Havoc. I think it's the October 26th show. And I didn't know because they've been doing those with the Halloween Havoc and Great American Bash, bringing back the old WCW pay-per-views. And I wondered with this NXT 2.0 version, if they would go back to doing those old shows, if you will, with those names. And I'm glad to see that they are. And we're getting Mr. Breaker, Braun Breaker, taking on Ciampa for the belt. So excited to see if they pull the trigger on the man that
we have a main event right here. Me and Harley. So
yeah,
cool
really.
Down.
But no,
it's your deal, man.
Something looking forward to. Everything else to me was man.
Well, Brian, you forgot to mention that Joe Gacy could be part of that as a triple threat match.
Yeah,
if he wins this week.
Yep, that is true. That's coming up on
Just keep
Tuesday.
talking. I gotta deal with this dog.
No worries.
I just don't. Brian, what do you think of Joe Gacy, his character? Because I got some thoughts on it.
So it's interesting because he wins his match on Tuesday, and he stays true to the character of like, hey, no matter what happens, we're both winners. And he legitimately hugs the opponent. I'm sorry, it's Jiko Men or whatever. I don't remember his name. Yeah. And the guy's kind of looking there like, that really happened? And I'm waiting for him to, I'm going to hug you and kick your ass. And he didn't. He's like, yeah, it's all good. So I'm very, interested in like how straight they're going to play this gimmick on him.
Here's the thing with me, like, with the everyone gets a trophy type of guy, I don't want to beat them up. I just want to ignore them. So I'm not really into it because I don't want to see him get hurt because I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you think back to, McMahon or like the evil, foreigner or whatever that like you always wanted to see, like, get their comeuppance. This guy, I don't care enough about to get his comeuppance. So I'm not really torn on it. I don't really care enough about it, but they're really going to push him down our throat for the next month.
But he's awesome, so he deserves to be pushed down our throats.
But do you want to see him get beat up, though? That's the thing.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people are trying to say, why are we pushing this guy to the moon this quick? But maybe he loses, and then it's the comeback story.
Can I take a time machine back? I just realized when we were talking NXT, and I was thinking about maybe some people could be going back there. Bayley isn't on any main roster.
She's injured.
Yeah.
Agreed, but Alexa Bliss is off for a while because she's taking extended time off, and she's
Asuka's not on any roster either.
Any injured, they kind of
or Dakota Kai, so Asuka could still happen.
Good call. No, that's a good call. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Now back to That Wrestling Podcast.
Anything else from NXT 2.0?
Unfortunately, Lucy Booten Tights never got a chance to wrestle because Frankie Monet knocked her out of the ring.
No, okay. Yeah, well, no, didn't. She beat Lucy Booten Tights, beat Frankie Monet this week.
No. It was it was supposed to be Lucy Booten Tights was supposed to face, I don't even know. I'm drawing a blank on the 20-year-old, the skater girl. But yeah. Frankie Monet came out and kicked Lucy Booten Tights out of the ring so she would face her. So
I got it backwards,
my poor gal Lucy Booten Tights never got a chance to wrestle this weekend. Very sad.
But I think she'll get drafted next season. She didn't get drafted this year. Lucy Booten Tights will definitely make the main roster next year in the draft. So we move to AEW. And yeah, the answer is yes.
Everything.
You know the question, right?
Was it amazing?
Are you sick of awesome? CM Punk yet?
Yeah. I'm sick of him. Again, like, can we get a week or two without him? I mean, I know he's a big deal, but like, come on.
It's been 7 days since he spoke on television.
And then they hype him up for the fucking Friday show in a match. Come on.
There was one thing that I thought was funny from that because he was like, I'll give you the option. Do you want everyone in the place get a Philly cheesesteak sandwich, or watch me wrestle tonight. Right? You know they film Rampage right on the Wednesdays for the ones that are
right
like,
after
the main
No.
live ones. But I thought that was just like, oh, okay. Besides,
when he said, when he said that, my wife was like, "I'll take the cheesesteak, thank you."
I'm just like last week. I'm not sick of it because loudest chance in the whole place was CM Punk. People are going for a little while, wrestling or not, to see him. That's it. I'm glad he made the barrier because he jumped off the entrance and it looked like he barely made it.
I saw somebody say like, "Oh, his knee nearly got destroyed on that."
So
I missed it myself.
While I'm sick of seeing him on television, like I'm sick of this dog right now. Punk was on AEW's Restricted podcast with Aubrey and Tony Schiavone, and they were talking about the crowd jumping, and he said, "Yeah, the first one was kind of an impulse, and then the rest just kind of it's kind of evolved into a thing now. But security's not happy that I do it." So, and then Aubrey made a joke that the people that are going to be buying tickets in that section are all going to be like big dudes that can catch him with just the hope of maybe he's going to jump every week. So, and then he was also on an episode of Sneaker Shopping, which is a YouTube show by Complex. And it's a really fun show. They take celebrities and they go sneaker shopping with them. And like Shane McMahon and the Bella Twins and Roman Reigns has been on there. Punk was on this week. And the shoes that he gave away were the shoes he bought on that show.
That's pretty cool.
The Jordans,
so
right?
He bought 2 pairs of Jordan 1s. One was $1,000. One was $700 a pair. And that's what he wore and then gave away to that Orange Cassidy wannabe.
Clementine Cassidy got those. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kid was definitely living the gimmick because he wasn't smiling. He just
sold that.
Thumbs up. He did that. I was very impressed with the way he sold that.
Yeah. And then one other, I don't think there was really anything from the show that was like, wow.
The 8-man tag I thought was pretty awesome. To kick off, I thought it was pretty.
It's
like a dog biting your back of your neck awesome.
I think Luchasaurus looked good in that match, and I love the fact that they messed up the power bomb, and the Elite were letting the crowd chant to them that they messed up.
I am never recording a podcast outside with this dog again, even though she is stealing the show. I actually fast forwarded through. The 8-man. None of those, like the Elite are cool, but like the Luchasaurus and Christian Cage, they just don't do it for me to the point where I want to sit and watch. And I did not watch live last night, so I had to just to get through it. The big story that came out from AEW over the weekend was that Tony Khan has removed creative control from the EVPs, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks, which I think is a good thing because honestly, the creative for the EVPs, like Joe, you and I have been on the same page about Kenny Omega as a champ. It hasn't done anything for us. So now that they're not going to book themselves and they're not going to, I think maybe this will be the change of something good. And obviously with Hangman Page coming back and he's going to get his shot at Omega, maybe this is the beginning of, what we all thought Hangman was going to be 2 years ago. So thoughts on the creative control being removed from the EVPs, Kevin?
This is the thing. Over the last, 2 years, the incline for my AEW fandom has only increased. If it improves with them not having creative control, perfect. If it goes down, they'll figure it out. Those guys will still have a little bit of say. They maybe not full say into their characters 100%, match results, etc. But I think Tony's getting a little bit more of like a greedy kid, kind of. I know it's his company, but I think he wants to be like Vince, controlling everything. But yeah, I still think the product's gonna be great. And maybe I'm a little different than you, Joe. I don't mind Omega as champion, but he doesn't feel up to the level of like what Jericho and Mox were, right? Like I don't look at him and I'm like, oh, he is like the champion, right? I think he's doing great, but we'll see.
Kevin, I'm going to stop you right there
Uh-huh.
because I understand we have another very special guest who
Oh.
wants to share well wishes for your birthday.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the host of Survivor,
What?
Jeff
Oh,
Probst.
Hey, this is Jeff Probst, host of Survivor here, and I want to wish a happy 40th birthday to one of our biggest fans, Kevin Cox. Cox? Is that right? With a name like that, how haven't we had you on the show? You need to send an audition tape. Have you ever done one of those? Anyway, give it a try. Maybe follow us on Twitter too. That's a good idea as well. Hope you have a happy 40th birthday where you outwit, outplay, and outlast everyone else. Happy birthday.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Probst.
Jeff
Fantastic.
what is the budget of this show to get all these great guest stars?
Oh, through the roof.
Do you know how many T-shirts we're selling?
That's the last one. That
Buy
we
the
had to get
shirt.
out on top. That's the last one, Kev. Went out on a high note.
That
Jeff
is-
Probst.
Oh, we don't have 40 people giving a comment.
That is awesome.
Yeah, we got to
all
keep
right.
we got to keep the show moving, right?
Yeah. So the draft is this week. We talked about it earlier, and for this week's 5 count, we're going to talk about the 5 matches each of us want to see in the new Raw and SmackDown after Crown Royal.
That Wrestling Podcast presents the 5 count.
It is the 5 count. We do it every week. This week's topic, the 5 matches we want to see on Raw and SmackDown after the draft. So we'll start with the birthday boy, Kevin. What are the 5 matches you want to see?
You got it. I start number 5. I have it's a Raw match. Street Profits versus RK Bro. Only for the fact where Street Profits will say, we want the smoke, and Riddle's gonna be like, where?
Whoa.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
I like
Me
it.
too, bro.
But realistically, I feel Randy's Randy, right? He's such a great athlete, and those other 3 guys, I feel like just that's the match overall will be great. Number 4, both of these women still on the Raw brand. One came over from SmackDown, Bianca. And Rhea, when she separates from Nikki ASH, a Bianca versus Rhea match, both of them are extremely buff, muscular ladies. If Bianca can somehow lift Rhea above her head, I just feel like that match could be brutal, right? I'll even say from Rhea's repertoire could have some brutality in it. Number 3, Karrion Kross versus Kevin Owens. I want to see Karrion Kross from keep on evolving. He's loving his gear, right? He's embracing it. I read that it was kind of like his idea is part of it, so he's taking it and running with it. In KO, I want nothing but high profile matches, so then he can maybe climb up and maybe have a shot back into the title hunt very, very soon. Number 2. AJ Styles versus Austin Theory.
That could be fun.
I think Austin Theory, in AJ, he's what, early 40s, maybe around 45,
43.
So about my age, just way more athletic.
Almost.
And,
more like
guy turns 40
Joe
and now
Kevin's
he's like
age. He didn't want to claim anything 40 for the entire year, and all of a sudden now, he's 45 like me.
Yeah, I got my AARP letter in the mail earlier this week. Just for the fact where I was looking at the roster and I was like, what matches do I want to see Austin wrestling? And I was looking down the whole Raw roster and I'm like, I would love to see AJ. I just feel like it would be fantastic. And then of course my number 1 pick, I'm a huge Edge guy, and all I could think of when Miz comes back from Dancing with the Stars, he's going to be propelled to a big program, and it gives Seth and Edge, some time to finish off their current program. I'd love to see something with Edge and the Miz. Both are great on the mic. Both are fantastic in the ring. Miz is doing Dancing with the Stars. Jay, did he dance well this week?
He did. He got a higher score than the last 2 weeks. So
good. Because that goes with my whole thing where I want him to keep on, doing great. So maybe that's a shot of that match happening later on.
Very cool. Yeah. Edge actually was a guest DJ on the Foo Fighter channel on Sirius XM today. They replay them all the time. It was cool. He's a big fan of the Foo Fighters, and he was playing some deep cuts too. So it wasn't just like the hits. So if you're on XM or on the app, definitely check that out.
Hey, Edge, play Learn to Fly.
So I'm going to go next. Number 5 on Raw. I want to see Becky Lynch against Nikki ASH. Now think about it. The Becky trash talk that she's trying to be like Conor McGregor to somebody like Nikki Ash who's trying to be a superhero. I think that'll be gold.
That's good.
On SmackDown, Charlotte against Xia Li. Charlotte's like 2 feet taller than Xia Li. So like, she'd be like doing that thing like with like you do with your kids where you like hold their head out and they're trying to like swing at you. And then like
or my wife.
Whatever you do in your private time, that's your business, man. And then like Xia Li could be like chopping at the legs, kicking at the legs. I think that would be a fun match. And then number 3, another clash of styles in the appearance and the visual would be awesome. Hit Row against the Viking Raiders.
Ooh,
that could be fun. My love for the Viking Raiders is not anything I have hidden. Number 2. Shelton Benjamin versus Montez Ford. Needed to be in a stadium because they would jump out of the roof. They would jump through the roof. And then number 1, Kevin Owens against
Karen Cross. Just kidding.
I'm trying to think of a college. The Fighting Rainbows. Keith Lee.
The Christmas trees of Stanford.
Yep.
It'd be that meaty men slapping meat match that would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Like they said on the social team on the Facebook page, this Keith Lee thing probably will go on until the end of time as far as colleges. So Brian, you can go next. What are your 5 matches you want to see after the draft?
Well, I like some of your choices better than my number 5, but I'll still say my number 5. My number 5 is Mansoor and Ali versus the Usos. So I like the dynamic of Mansoor and Ali. Ali, I think, is incredibly underrated as a performer. And if you guys remember when Kofi Mania happened, Ali was supposed to like win the Money in the Bank, and that whole thing, he got injured, and boy, like what his career would have been if that didn't happen. It's amazing. So I think they put on a great match. That's my number 5. My number 4, Ricochet versus Cesaro. Joe and I talked about it last week, how we want to see Ricochet presented more prominently, and Cesaro is a guy that you can do no wrong, whether it's a big guy or a small guy. They'll put on a great match. My number 3, similar to, I think maybe Kevin had said it with AJ Styles and Austin Theory, was it?
Yeah.
Somebody said that. I have Randy Orton and Austin Theory. That was so the same kind of dynamic. I was thinking of a veteran with this young up and comer. I think, they're kind of similar in size. It seems like to me that I think that'd be a good matchup for those guys to play off each other.
Does Austin Theory do the selfie gimmick to Randy Orton or AJ Styles?
Bring it. Yeah. Bring it. More selfies. Number 2, and I think this absolutely needs to happen, maybe come SummerSlam. Big E versus Kevin Owens for the title. I think that's just a must to be done. Kevin Owens deserves a run with the heavyweight championship. Him and Big E would put on some great matches. And my number 1, because it's the wild card that you guys maybe aren't thinking about with the rosters, Brock Lesnar versus Keith college nickname Lee is my number one. Think about the Royal Rumble 2020. Brock went on that big terror from the beginning of eliminating everybody. But when Keith Lee came out, he was the first guy that, like, even Brock was hilarious. He's in the ring. And first off, you see Brock go, he's talking to Heyman on the outside. He's going, big boy. and he also looks at Heyman and goes, who the fuck is that guy? It's hilarious. Go back and watch it. And the crowd ate it up. They did a stare down. They basically did like the double clothesline where they both went down. That has money written all over. That could be a WrestleMania main event as long as they boost Keith, college nickname Lee, up to an appropriate level. That's my number one, Brock and Keith Lee.
All right, Joe, bring us home.
I feel bad because I don't have Keith Jayhawks Lee anywhere on my list. So I'm going to have to go.
Lawrence, Kansas that night. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Number 5, Brian, you already said it. KO versus Big E for the belt.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think they've had a match. I know KO.
So him and Kofi did, right?
I know KO filled in for Big E.
He was the Big
when
O.
he was injured.
Yeah, he was Big O, and then he fought Kofi, I feel, at like one pay-per-view. Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that. I want to see KO basically be a monster heel like he should be.
Yep.
Because this nice guy, he's going to go to Raw and basically, this nice guy gimmick is not for me. Number 4, based on her tweet earlier this week when she said blue bones break as much as easy as red bones, I want to see Shayna Baszler versus Charlotte Flair. I want to see those two go at it. I want to see Shayna just like whoop her.
Yeah, but
probably not going to happen,
and it won't work.
They don't know what Charlotte is because if they wanted,
she's the
Alexa
best.
Alexa was supposed to be a heel too, but Shayna Baszler versus Charlotte Flair because there's only 10 women on SmackDown and Charlotte's going to go through the rest of them quickly. Number 3, we've seen it before, but it doesn't mean I don't want to see it again. Finn Balor versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, and that one was
okay.
That
was
one of them filled in for Bray.
That was when
right?
AJ filled in for Bray.
AJ,
and it was supposed to be the Pumpkin
Fiend
Demon
against Pumpkin Spice Balor.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Sister Abigail versus the Pumpkin Demon. This is Halloween. This is
remember because he was orange.
Yeah,
yes, he
forgot
was
about that
for no reason, and then he never was
no reason.
Again.
And
probably
number 2,
for the best.
My number 2, we've seen it before, but I want to see it at WrestleMania. If The Rock doesn't show up, Drew versus Roman. I said it last week. Drew needs to go to SmackDown so he can face the head of the table. And number 1, this is a
stab him.
Because he's allowed to stab people in matches now. My number 1 was back to our NXT conversation. Hit Row versus the Bloodline.
Sure.
I want to see Hit Row versus the Bloodline. And the Bloodline can win, but Hit Row will get the rub and they can have a great year on SmackDown.
How soon do you want that?
October 22nd, week 1.
Wow.
I want Hit Row
Joe
to interrupt. I want Hit Row to interrupt Roman Reigns, giving himself a pat on the back for beating Brock Lesnar.
So I read that Hit Row they don't rehearse. They just fly off the cuff on all their promos.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Exactly. That could be fun.
Yeah,
that could be
I think
fun.
so too. So that's our 5 count for this week.
Who made your 5 count? Let us know on social media using the hashtag TWP5count. All right, well, we are just about out of time, but we will first see what happened with the NFL picks, Brian. What happened last week? Was that week 4?
Yeah, week 4 is in the books. So normally that would mean the quarter poll mark, but the league is at 17 games this year. So we're almost there. We're
well, maybe at the end of the first quarter of this week's games, that'll be the quarter. No.
It's like a quarter.
My math works. Yeah, my math works.
I don't know. But no, the kids, they went head to head on 3 picks. That was fun. It was that they each had different choices. There was none that matched up. Bret goes to 2-1 last week. Harper ends up going 1-2. And so now they are both tied. I want to say their record is 5-7. They're tied after 4 weeks at 5-7. So
So she blew another lead.
Yes, so the lead is already blown. She had a couple of games up. It's already gone. And I just want to give a little PSA to the gambling public out there that if you're actually following the kids' picks, it's not so hot this year.
What the fuck is wrong with you if you're following the 5-year-old picks?
1-800-GAMBLER will be your help. 1-800
if you have a gambler problem.
Yes, exactly. So we're starting fresh. It's a brand new week, tied up from the after week 4, and we got 3 games coming your way this weekend.
Don't forget to check out our whatamaneuver.net store. Just search That Wrestling Podcast. I mean, like we said earlier, the amount of shirts we're selling, the budget we have to get Jeff Probst to wish Kevin a happy birthday.
That was cool.
We're selling more shirts. We've got another ad coming up on this Tuesday, the next one in the series. But Kevin, it is your birthday. Are you guys doing anything for the 40th birthday? Any plans?
We're going to go to an amusement park in parts unknown. It goes by the name of Kings Island.
Yes.
My day is
trip
gonna
to the
be,
islands
is gonna be
fit for a king.
having my kid happy. That's all.
Nice.
That's all that matters.
King of the Ring Island. Yes. Well, Kevin, I gotta. Did you like the surprise guest that
It was awesome. It was great.
Good.
Fantastic.
Awesome, man. Well, just when you thought it was over, it turns out there is one very special guest left. Let's take a look.
Shut up.
Let's see here. Here we go.
Hey, this is Bret the Hitman Hart, and I got a very special happy 40th birthday shout out going on for October 9th. And this is going out to a very special man, a longtime fan of mine, and this is a guy that everyone holds a lot of regard for. This is going out to Kevin. And this is coming courtesy of Joe, Brian, and Jay, all the guys that are on That Wrestling Podcast. They just want you to know what a very special guy you are. And I just want to straight off the top, thank you, Kevin, for naming your son after me. I hope that he always makes you proud, and I'm sure he always will. But thank you for that honor. It means a lot to me to have fans like you that think so highly of me and were always there for me. But in the meantime, have a great 40th birthday, and just know when it comes to being just a great guy, you are the excellence of execution. And you prove every single day that you are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Have a great 40th birthday, and just know that when I was 40 years of age, I was still cranking up my greatest wrestling matches. So just know, Kevin, that the best days still lay ahead for you. Have a great birthday, and I know Joe, Brian, and Jay are going to make every effort to make sure it's a very special day for you. Have a great birthday. Keep on rocking. Stay cool. God bless.
How about that? The Hitman!
Holy
the
shit.
Hitman!
Literally, I feel like I'm that close to having a tear in my eye.
Do it with a tear in my eye. Come on, do it.
Joe and Jay called that. They're like, he's gonna cry.
He's gonna cry. We were watching you.
Honestly, that was holy shit. That was awesome.
Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Well, welcome to the 40 Club, brother. Welcome.
Woo. Stay cool.
Yeah. Keep rocking. He knew you worked at Q106. Keep rocking, Ken.
20 years ago, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
That's awesome.
Is that better than the chick from All That giving a cameo?
I won't lie. I just got extreme. I don't even know if it was a hot flash. I just is that what?
How old are you?
You're a 50-year-old woman apparently. Not a 40-year-old
pause.
Yeah.
Man, that was awesome. That was holy crap. That was awesome. I'm not very lost for words ever, right? I don't even know what to say. That was very cool. Thank you.
That's it, man. No problem. Awesome. Happy birthday, Bret the Hitman Hart, right there on That Wrestling Podcast. How cool is that?
Yeah, stay cool. And if you have a birthday this weekend, other than Kevin, happy birthday to you. And we'll talk to you next week on That Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3. That's it.
All right. Oh,
gotcha.
that was so great.